Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before we get into the story, I want to give a brief content warning. This story does include suicide, self-harm, depression, murder, cutting, blood, overdosing, and other similar content. Now, with that being said, let's get to the story. Thank you for calling 1-800-SUICIDE. If you wish to self-terminate by electric shock, press 1. For termination by overdose, press 2. If you would like to make a reservation to visit our drowning pool, please press 3. For termination by hanging, please press 4. For death by self-inflicting gunshot, press 5. To speak to a representative, stay on the line. If you do not wish to die, please hang up now. I can never tell if it's a joke or not. I've called in about 5 times and I've hung up 4 times. This time I think I'm staying on the line. If this is real, I'm going to find out about it. It's been several minutes, and so far no representative has picked up. It's just been the same recorded message, asking me to push 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Nervously, I shift my feet and press the phone between my shoulder and ear. Maybe this is a bad idea. Yes, of course. It's a crappy, impulsive decision that I will most likely come to regret. This is 1-800-SUICIDE. How may I help you? The small voice comes out of the phone and makes me flinch. I grab the phone and clutch it in my hands. As usual, there's a slight sting of fear that any phone conversation brings to life within me. My name is Matthias, and I think I want to die. Certainly. Are you seeking assistance in any way? Or do you have any questions about our services? No pause. The woman continues in the same smooth tone. It's professional. It's unattached. I'm speechless. I just wanted to... What exactly are your services? I got the number from a weird advertisement. I've been posting a lot of depressing/edgy things on my blog recently, and the strangest ad blog followed me recently. They only had one single post. 1-800-SUICIDE or maybe Doctor Online can help you die. At first I thought that it was a joke, or just another random generation of words. You know how ad blogs are. But then I realized that I had nothing to lose by trying the number, right? Sure, it might be a real number, and sure, something terrible might happen to me by calling them, i.e., weird company now having my number in their system. But I wanted to die anyway, so what did it matter if I messed my life up? I've already been doing a lot of risky stuff anyway, like taking long walks in the middle of nowhere, knowing that I look weak enough to be an easy target, hoping to be kidnapped half the time, terrified that it would happen the other half. But still, I did it. But I've never gone as far as to actively trying to kill myself. Sure, I spend a bit too long peering over the edge of buildings, and recently I've been staring at sharp objects with what could only be described as longing. But those are just thoughts, right? Impulses, like the thought of stabbing your hand into a running fan. Watch those fingers fly off. We offer individuals the opportunity to commit suicide, sir. My breath hitches in my throat. What? I croak, wondering if this is an elaborate prank. Surely it cannot be real. I thought you helped talk people out of suicide, or assisted people with depression, or... If you are interested in preventing self-harm and self-termination in any way, then I can patch you through to the suicide hotline. No! I yell, surprising myself, and swallow again. That's alright. What am I doing? This is obviously something sketchy or something illegal, but I can't hang up. Honestly, does it matter? It might be interesting. I probably should have contacted the suicide hotline instead, but I didn't, and so I'm here. Pathetic. What do you need assistance with, sir? What do you do? I continue, my breath rough and nervous. I keep glancing at the door, afraid that my roommate is going to return and ask why his friend is pressed against the wall like a spider. Those services you mentioned, how do you provide them? Again, no pause. Nothing but smooth transition. We will require your name and the verbal consent to send someone to you. Once you have verbally consented, our employee will further inform you. Nothing will be done without your complete agreement, rest assured. Is there a specific method that you would be interested in? I'm shaking. I clench my muscles and try to pretend that I'm not actually considering this, that I'm not going to go as far as I can, but I'm still planning on backing out. Just my name? I ask. Don't you need my address, or... We already have your location, sir, she says, in the same calm, professional tone. I hang up. What? What? All my thoughts of self-termination are far gone from my head. Instead, my mind is filled with what I can only describe as a mindless panic. I lock my door, knowing that my roommate will be home soon and will demand as to why I've locked him out. I peek out the window for a second and then draw the shade down. Then I sit on the edge of my bed and try not to shake. What was that? It's an elaborate ruse, isn't it? Or maybe she said it to scare me off? Of course, only people who really didn't care enough to continue living wouldn't mind. It may have been an act of pity on her part to try to make me realize what I would be losing. But I've realized and thought about the alternative, and it's not much. The boy that I love doesn't love me back, and he's a good friend of mine on top of it, who's always talking about the other person that he likes, enough to make anyone lose it. Sometimes I just wondered if I drove myself to the edge of death and back, would he pity me enough to love me? Even if it was fake, it's better than nothing, right? Some people may say that isn't a reason enough for you to kill yourself, but to those I say, it isn't you. You wouldn't understand. I know that it's stupid and irrational, but I've never been a strong person. And recently, each and every disappointment is really wearing me down. I feel like screwing up my classes just to see what would happen. What would change? Nothing, probably. My breathing is even again. I probably should be crying. Most people cry at the thought of death, right? I used to. But recently I haven't been good at the whole crying thing. So I just wind the phone between my hands. They mentioned a website, didn't they? Doctor Online? My panic is gone, and my curiosity has returned. If this is a ruse or a prank, I want to see how it plays out. Maybe what I want most is to stop myself, and maybe that will happen if I involve a third party. So I turn on my beat-up laptop that's surviving by a combination of electric tape and assorted objects to prop up its screen, and find my search engine choice. Doctor Online. It is a website. .co, too. Tentatively, I move the mouse to hover over the link, hesitating before I click it. This is a crossroad. I'm sure that there will be more, an opportunity to back out. I click the link. Doctor Online. A fancy heading with pictures of smiling people dressed in typical medical garb. The one in the middle is wearing a surgical mask and is shadowed enough so that it's impossible to think what he looks like. In one hand, he's holding a scalpel, typically, and in the other, a syringe. His coat is a whitish blue, like milk. What kind of site is this? I wonder, searching it a bit. There's a FAQ question. Is your decision reversible once an employee has been sent over? Answer. Of course. Until you give the final consent, you can back out at any time. But remember, once you have verbally given the last answer in the affirmative, there will be no turning back. Question. Can we choose who you send over? Can it be a cute girl? I snort a bit, but continue reading anyway. Unfortunately, no. We send whomever is available, but rest assured that we know each and every one of you quite well, and I think that the match will be adequate. What? I scroll down a bit quickly. How exactly do you assist your customers? That's a good question, but unfortunately the answer is too complicated to describe in detail here. Please click the provided link for an explanation. I click the link. It doesn't load. There are a lot of cues. The words swim in my head and my eyes water. I can't concentrate on large blocks of text like these, and return to the home page. There's also a brief bio, which I read. Doctor Online is a program created to assist people looking for an alternative to life, but who are either unable or unwilling to do it themselves. Confidential, discreet, and as safe as can be expected. Affiliated with 1-800-SUICIDE. As safe as can be expected? Again, I snort. This website feels more like a joke. It helps me calm down. A sense of relief dulling the anxiety in my head. 1-800-SUICIDE was creepy and morbid, but it wasn't. It was just a business, calm and unattached. Impossible to tell if the woman or who answered actively cared whether or not I lived or died. It seems like the site is trying to put me at ease, but given the subject matter, perhaps a joking tone is insensitive. I click on some more links looking for information that I can use. Fill out the sheet and we can send someone over right away. Written consent is meaningless, however, so please make sure that you are verbally able to consent. Again with the verbal consent. That seems strange to me, but then all of this is weird. At this point, I don't care much. The form is simple. Name, first only, please. Preferred method of termination. Would you like to be given an opportunity to be helped/talked out of your current goal? We can help you. I roll my eyes, as if anyone who's come this far will back out now. But then that's what I want myself to do. So I bite my lip and continue reading. Phobias. Any regrets that you may have. We're curious. And that's it. There's no place for location or address or any form of contact. Just the first name. I feel a bit safer filling out something like this via the internet than the phone. It'll be really funny. I'll fill it out and then nothing will happen. My computer will probably get a virus and that will be it. The end. I fill out the form. Halfway in between a smirk and a grimace the whole time. Phobias? Do I have any? Yes. I'm afraid of veins. That sounds stupid. What method of death should I put? I really just don't like how they look so fragile. I used to have a fear that if I pressed down on one hard enough, it would burst and I would bleed to death internally. Method of death? Anything you want. Phobias? Fear of veins. I probably shouldn't have put both that and anything, should I? Oh well, that doesn't matter. You're probably waiting for me to realize, crap, look at everything that I'd be missing. Nah. So I finish the form and submit it. Thanks. An employee will be sent to your exact location within the hour. Despite my doubts, the hair rises on the back of my neck. Crap. Someone will be here to kill me? My room's a mess. There's a sock on the trash can, a bowl of half-eaten cereal upside down on the carpet. My roommate's favorite magazines are strewn across the floor. I tidy up a bit. Don't want to look like a slob when I die, do I? This is freaking ridiculous, I tell myself. Nobody's going to come, but it's comforting to have something to do, so I cling to it. I want to clean up. I want to make this room look nice. Suicide has nothing to do with me. Nothing is going to happen. I just want to clean up. It's been 15 minutes. Just when I'm thinking that I should lie down before I throw up, someone knocks at my door. My stomach does a flip. Oh, it's my roommate. He wants in, of course, because I forgot to unlock it. I open the door. Who the heck are you? I croak. Charming, the man says. He steps inside without an invitation. I can't really focus on his face. I suppose he's attractive? No, he is attractive. Very handsome, pretty, ripped, small, lanky, petite, effeminate, the most masculine man I've ever seen. I don't know what he looks like, but I find him sexually appealing. I couldn't tell you more than that. I'm strangely drawn to him. His bangs are strewn across his face, and his eyes are trained on me. There's no color. They aren't white, but they aren't anything. I don't know. I can't focus. I'm going to throw up. You're a doormat, are you? The man asks, raising an eyebrow. He's staring at me in an incredulous kind of way, like I'm an annoying customer in a checkout line. I nod, my head swimming. My room is still too dirty. What if my roommate comes back? What's going to happen to me? He sighs. You really look like you should be taking this more seriously, doormat. He's carrying a silver suitcase, which he sets on the table. I wonder if there's a gun in it. How did you know where I lived? I murmur, not knowing what else to say. He walks around me and opens the suitcase. You didn't read everything, did you? He sounds annoyed. Wonderful. Well, do you want to? I stare at him dumbly. Want to what? Want to die. He trains his eyes on me. There's a shadow that flickers across his lips. It's a yes or no question. I think about it for exactly half a second. Yes. He looks as though he doesn't believe me, but doesn't press the subject. Instead, he's laying out a few items from the suitcase. A gun, as I expected, a noose, a bottle of powerful painkillers, a box of razor blades. Given the nature of your lack of request, he says, half sarcastically, it was a bit difficult to come prepared. If you choose drowning, car crash, throwing yourself off a building, or anything that I haven't provided here, then tell me and we'll work something out. I eye the painkillers. I've taken a bit too many before and it hurt. It really hurt. And that wasn't enough to overdose. Not lethally overdose, anyway. I don't know, I say, hence the lack of request. He smiles at me, somewhat thin-lipped. I see. Are you leaving the decision up to me, then? I nod. He takes a deep breath and then says in a salesperson voice, This is a binding contract that you cannot back out from once you give the final consent. That term again. You will be given 2 additional opportunities to back out of your decision. I will not judge you in any way or form. If you do choose to back out, then it will be as though all of this, he taps his chest and simpers, never happened. And I can hook you up with the appropriate resources to ensure that I have to interrupt him or I really might back out. I don't care, I say callously. Please, just hurry up. I think I'm going to be sick. You poor thing, he says in an identically cold tone. I suppose ODing is out of the question then. I glare at him and say nothing. After all, he's going to be my Grim Reaper, so I might as well just stay on his good side. Not that it matters, I suppose. He's saying a few things around my room. I ask him what he's doing. Preparing a scene, he says. It's supposed to be a suicide, after all. Then something occurs to me. Why are you doing this? I ask. I mean, how am I supposed to pay you? Nobody ever mentioned money. He turns around from my cupboard and gives me another thin but attractive smile. Correct. Nobody mentioned it. And then he wheels back around. I stare at his back and try to concentrate on what is happening. That doesn't make much sense. Maybe they do it for free? I tell myself. He could be someone who gets off on killing other people. But he looks pissed at me, so that can't be it. He's acting like any other employee dealing with a less than helpful customer. Is that what this is? A business interaction? I still feel like it's a joke and that it's going to be over soon. Do I want to back out? As if guessing my thoughts, when he finishes, he returns to me. This is your second chance to change your mind. You have a long life ahead of you that could be lived. Save it, I say. The more people try to convince me to stay, the more determined I feel to leave. Nothing that anyone says can make this life appeal to me anymore. His expression does not change. Yes or no? Yes, I say, matching his eyes. For some reason that gives me a headache. Okay, the man says, and then he's out of my sight again. I think that he's going into the bathroom that me, my roommate, and the other 2 rooms adjacent to us share. While he's in there, I decide to snoop through his suitcase. There's nothing in there. It's oddly clean, too. There aren't even any fingerprints on the gleaming metal surface, and it makes me feel wrong to be near it, like I shouldn't be here. So I push it away and swallow repetitively to keep my bile down. When he comes back, he seems to be in a better mood. His actions are less rushed. I wonder if he did something in there to pick him up. It's none of my business, I guess. I'm the last person who should be lecturing about harming your body. Right then, he says. We're getting to the last part. The last statement. Are you aware of what is about to happen? Fully aware? I nod. He scowls. We require a verbal consent, he says. That annoys me. And what if I don't want to say it? Why does it have to be verbal anyway? If you don't say it, then I would take it as a no and leave. This isn't a game, kid. Think about what you're doing. Kid? I match his scowl. Yes, then. Yes. He continues as though I had never interrupted. And do you have anything to say? Is there anything that you want me to explain to you that will make what is about to happen more clear? No and no, I say. Why should it matter what he does? It will look like a suicide to everyone, he tells me. That registers strangely. Why wouldn't it look like a suicide? What did you put in my room? I ask, wondering why I care. I feel very emotionally detached right now from everything. Someone could die in front of me and my empathy wouldn't spike. It's strange, death-like, so I embrace it. Preparation, he reminds me. His eyes suddenly look odd to me, but since I cannot register them as a shape or color, I cannot tell what it is. Do you want any religious? He begins and I laugh, which makes him stop. I can understand that, he says, with the closest to a smile I've seen on him. It makes my head hurt. Your real name is Matthias, isn't it? He says. I don't remember him moving, but suddenly he's right in front of me. I wish I could say something cliche like his breath smelled sweet or like peppermint, but I honestly couldn't tell anything. Yes, I say. He nods. Are you sure that you want to die, Matthias? This is your last chance. This is your last chance. That resonates with me. I suppose all throughout my life I just wanted somebody to stop me, to tell me not to. Someone real, someone whose opinion I cared about. What do you think? So I ask him, and I'm honestly curious as to what his response will be. Officially, my opinion is neither here nor there, he says, and his lip twitches. Unofficially? I press. Heck, if I'm gonna die tonight, I might as well get as much out of this guy as I can. I did mention that I find him attractive, and I don't feel like letting that go easily. It's quite stupid to think this now, though. His eyes are boring into me. Again, I feel a sense of something being wrong. Unofficially, I don't really care, he says. But if you truly want to die, then I'll help you. That's what I'm here for. I let out the breath that I was saving. That wasn't exactly what I hoped to hear. Yes, I say. Yes, I want to die. Yes, you can help me. Yes to whatever other questions you want to ask. He leans forward slightly. You do realize that after this point, all of your pleas, an odd choice of words, I think, and attempts at breaking the appointment will be ignored? Let me rephrase that for you. From this moment on, there is nothing that you can do or say to undo what will happen. You will be dead from this moment on if you agree. So what do you think, Matthias? Do you want to die? My skin crawls. Yes. There, I said it. A huge weight has been taken off of my shoulders. But I still feel like throwing up. He smiles and taps his hand against the wall. Consent registered. How exactly is this going to work, I ask. I probably should have asked this earlier, but, I was busy. The man raises an eyebrow and shakes his head. He looks amused now and not irritated any longer. And he doesn't answer my question. I suppose from this moment on, he is no longer obligated to. There's a glimmer of light. It's a razor in his hand. I feel a wave of revulsion for a moment. Do you have to use that? I ask, thinking of my fragile veins and the sensation of bleeding out. It seems uncomfortable. Why? He asks. Do you have a fear of veins, maybe? And he chuckles slightly to himself. What do I have to do? My heart pounding horribly in my chest. Just stand still, my savior says, and suddenly he has my wrist in his hand. In one swift motion, he throws me forward, onto the floor. I'm on my back, momentarily stunned and unable to move. In that moment, he lunges forward and takes me by the hand. His touch is surprisingly gentle, I think, and then it isn't. His grip tightens on my hand, and he presses the razor to his lips for a moment. I expect him to say something, but he doesn't. No phrase, no goodbye, nothing at all. He slices the razor to the left abruptly. It takes a second, but there's a sliver of blood. It doesn't stop when I expected it to, and it stings. Wait, I try to say. He ignores me. His iron grip now tightens over the other hand. I don't even try to struggle. I don't want to struggle. Another slash of pain and the sensation is doubled. My head hurts, and I feel dizzy. Nauseous, too. The tang of iron fills the air, and I squirm on the floor, pressing my now free right hand against my left wrist. It's deep, flowing enough that even I know that this is the end. It's over. I only have a few moments left. The man is closing the suitcase. He taps me on the head. You were a good match, Matthias. Even if you think that we weren't, he says. The company doesn't make mistakes. You and your kind might, but we don't. He grips me by my hair and pulls my head backwards. The same horrible sensation of wrong gazes through me when I meet his indescribable gaze. I'll be seeing you downstairs, he says, and draws the razor across my throat. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked the story. Thank you to the author for giving me permission to read it. It's definitely a good story. It was an interesting experience to read it. Um, and I hope you'll indulge me for a little bit here at the end to get real. If you or anyone you know and love is suffering from depression and thoughts of suicide, thoughts of self harm, um, you know, there are resources that can help you. There are people out there that can help. Um, I can personally speak from experience that life is hard and depression sucks. You know, like even for me personally, life is a battle every day. Um, it's a battle to get up. It's a battle to feed myself. It's a battle to even record and edit this video. Um, and I want you, the listeners, viewers, to know that I am here for you. And your family is here for you, your friends, you know, um, reach out and talk to someone. It's not much, but talking can help. It helps me, um, you know, and uh, you gotta you gotta keep working at it. Like I said, everything's a struggle. Every day's a battle. Some days hits harder than the other, but you just gotta keep working at it. And even if you want to reach out to me, you know, and have me listen to you, some random guy that you found on the internet, I'm perfectly fine with doing that. You know, um, I'm gonna be providing the suicide hotline in the description and put it on the screen. But I just want you to know that you're not alone, and there are people who care for you, and it's just hard, and we gotta stick together in all this, you know. Um, I don't really know what else to say, frankly. You know, whatever you're going through, whatever it is, you'll get through it. I don't know you, but I know you'll get through it. You just got to keep living. Live, for yourself. Don't live for other people because that'll just make you more exhausted and more likely to do something that you'll regret. But, live for yourself. Okay? Um, thanks for indulging me. I guess I'll see you guys in the next one.